Well, look.
Hey,
Are we
welcome
live?
back to the Utterly Insane with Mark and Joe. I'm Mark, and this
I'm
here
Joe.
And
We are a paranormal podcast.
yes, we do paranormal, and we also do the unexplained. And I still haven't been able to explain him yet.
No, you haven't been explained yet.
Yeah, whatever. I hope you enjoy the show. Talk about food. You both are good cooks. Politics, climate change, nerd shit. You both know movies, TV, etc.
That's what she's saying.
Yep. Well, for some reason, it's not bringing it up for me to go live or go in here.
Well, I don't know why. It's showing it funny over here too.
Yeah, it's because
now
Joe's
she's
at the
joined.
helm.
Okay, so somebody's joined, so I can see.
Oh, here we go. I had to refresh it, I guess. I'm solo today. No, we don't have our producer person, and Joe has to fill in. So I get to sit over here by myself. But he's got a mic.
Yeah, I got a mic and now I got a
That's scary too. He's got a mic.
puppy issue too. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Just keep talking. Say what you're gonna talk about. Say what
Gotta go find the puppy. All right, so, well, I don't know. This is stuff that you've already heard. This is stuff that Lisa's already heard because she hears it from me all the time. No, we were thinking conspiracy theories today, and one of the conspiracy theories is a little interesting because I was actually giving Joe a little bit of a history lesson on this one. I quizzed him. I asked him. I said, currently, there's a person that's of great interest in the Trump administration that is under some deep shit that's just getting deeper, who's also tied into the 9/11 attacks. And it took him a while, but he finally figured that one out. So, think you can figure it out? Oh, look at you. Just breaking stuff.
Oh, fuck off. I'm trying to stay out of it.
Why are you trying to stay out of the camera view? You're always in the camera view anyway when you're sitting over here with me, you dorcas.
That's right. I didn't want to break the cords either.
Well, I don't know. You knocked your radio thing off of there,
It's
so.
all right. It's fine. It's sitting right there. I moved it.
But yeah, I believed. I No, not the Bush family.
Wait, back up. What are you talking about? Did you start talking about 9/11?
Yeah. I said there's somebody right now that's in the Trump administration who's in some deep shit, and it just keeps getting deeper for him. And you can tie them. You can actually tie them back to the 9/11 attacks, and it took you a while to figure it out.
Former Mayor Giuliani. Rudy!
You're not supposed to tell her. You're supposed to let her. Lisa's on here with us. You're supposed to let her try and figure
Was
it
I
out.
supposed to let you guess that? I'm sorry. Bush family, yeah.
It's-
You know, there used to be a chia pet called Barbara's Bush.
Yeah.
Wasn't that the first
Rudy.
lady's name? One of the first ladies' name, Barbara Bush.
Yes.
There was a chia pet named Barbara's Bush, and it was you bought it in one of those like adult bookstores or like pipe fitters or something like that.
Yeah.
I just thought that was funny because
Yeah.
you said Bush family.
But yeah, Rudy, good old Rudy's.
Bush.
We were talking about the 9/11 thing too, and yeah, I know it's a rehash. It's going back in time, but I believe that our government had something to do with it.
And that's what
No, I do. I
about
believe our
officers
government.
and-
I believe our government had a hand in causing that to happen. I also, I'm pretty sure that good old Georgie, my pet goat reader, he didn't have too much of a clue because he was kind of clueless in the first place. He was kind of the puppet, and Cheney was the puppet master. And Cheney was partly behind the 9/11 attacks, I believe.
Well,
and also I believe the head of the CIA was behind part of that. And the reason is because during the attacks, Cheney was at NORAD running scenarios on the exact same thing that was happening. That was kind of suspicious.
yeah.
But then there is there's an interview which I actually downloaded off of YouTube of Jesse Ventura with that
Jesse the Body Ventura.
Yeah, with that what was that guy's name?
Minnesota Navy SEAL.
The guy that was interviewing him on CNN. Who was that? That was Morgan.
Pierce Morgan.
Pierce Morgan. He's an asshole.
But
his own people don't like him.
The same thing. I listened to that.
But this was in 2012. This interview, and just that one little section that I was listening to. But I downloaded the whole thing. It's 40 minutes long. But in that,
it's also a lot of the same stuff he said in his conspiracy theories show.
Yeah,
on 9/11.
Yeah. But in that, he believes also that that our government wanted it to happen. I don't believe the plane actually hit the Pentagon. I believe it was a Patriot cruise missile.
Because of the Pentagon.
That hit the Pentagon.
That's possible.
And I don't believe that these were actual passenger planes with people in them that hit the Twin Towers. I think these planes were actually loaded with extra fuel for the long burn that they wanted.
Yeah, for added effect.
And then, of course, when the towers did collapse,
that was a professional demolition job.
Yep, that was a demo job. If you watch video of that, you can actually see the puffs of smokes from the explosions 2 to 3 stories down from the collapse itself. And each time you collapsed, you had, just before the collapse, you had those puffs out there.
Right. And like I told you earlier too, that I saw a video on TV. It was one of these conspiracy theory things that we'd see on like the Travel Channel or Discovery or something like that. And it was a professional demolition dude from Las Vegas that did all the professional hotels in Vegas. He proved how that was. He showed how it was done. How that was a literally professional demo job with professionally planted explosives in the right places.
Yep.
Because it came straight down. Those planes, there's no way a plane in that tower, like I said earlier, those towers were built to take a plane crash.
Right. And then during that interview that I was just talking about with Jesse Ventura and Pierce Morgan, Jesse actually said that he's got the video from the broadcast, the BBC broadcast, where the broadcaster's standing there talking about World Trade Center 7 falling, collapsing, yet in the background behind them, you can clearly see World Trade Center 7 still standing. And after the broadcast, it was another 30 minutes before the Building 7 went down. Now, the reason that they took Building 7 down along with everything, they wanted it down because of the fact that there was a storeroom in it that held a lot of information from the CIA, and they were trying to get rid of a lot of that because they had stuff on probably Cheney.
It was a cover up.
Yeah, it was a huge cover up.
Basically,
but it was also it wasn't just a cover up. It was also a means to give permission to our government to go to war.
Well, yeah. That was the
whole thing.
That's what started people looking into the conspiracy theory, because right then the war on terror started.
Yeah, well,
Because of the 9/11 thing. Remember, right after that, the president of the United States declared a war on terror.
Yeah, I know.
Right
that was
after
Bush.
That.
That was my pet goat reader.
Right. But I mean, that was the excuse, right?
Actually,
there.
I don't think he was reading. I think he was looking at the pictures.
It,
Yeah, you see here, children, there you got your pet goat right here, and he's a...
Well, it's like today. Look at today. It's like the guy creates a fucking crisis.
He created this problem.
He created this problem.
Trump
in Syria,
created the problem we have in Syria.
He goes and sends the vice president and some other dickhead out there, you know, to sit there and try to declare peace or get a truce or ceasefire thing going on or whatever it was.
Yeah, supposedly.
Yeah, well, we know it
he
didn't work.
brokered a ceasefire, but yet they're still firing.
And they turn around and say, no, it's not a ceasefire. It's just
a delay.
It's just a pause and
yeah.
And then the dickhead gets on camera and he's declaring a victory because he got this ceasefire, you know. And it's like, motherfucker, you created the fucking crisis to begin with.
You did.
You know what the fuck?
Who keeps joining and leaving?
I don't know. I don't have my old man
supposed to tell people. Supposedly tells you who joins. If I see it every now and then, it'll pop to 3, and then somebody will leave. But no, you can't claim victory on this, because what he did is he gave Turkey the green light to go after the Kurds, and that's what's betraying the Kurds after the Kurds busted their ass and worked with us in order to maintain.
Oh, it was Shauna.
So
it was Shauna.
So the whole thing is,
and then somebody else.
I believe our government was behind the 9/11 attacks. So see, you went and got me off on this other shit with dickhead, and I don't want to fucking get onto that right now.
No, but the 9/11 attacks, you know, not only did you have the people in the buildings die, that's the sad part to begin with.
Yeah, where'd the people in the airplanes go?
But then you had.
Were they actually in those planes?
I don't think they were. I think they were empty.
I think those planes were empty, and that they were full of more fuel for that.
Right.
And that's
that an extra smoke burn.
To create the extra long burn that they wanted the effects from.
But then you had.
So where'd those people go? Did they just off them and fucking bury them somewhere?
Then you had all these New York firefighters from around the world.
All the first responders that went in there, and they had all this problems
for this.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. They're first responders. They're all first responders. Right. They're people that are trained to take care of this stuff. So you had a
lot of them lose their lives in this.
What a first responder is.
Right. You had a lot of them first responders lose their lives as well, and that's people walking.
And it wasn't just that they lost their lives. There's a lot of them that actually because of the debris and the
that one guy
and the smoke and everything else, they got cancer. They got. Right. They wound up getting ill from this.
Right. The guy had burns and stuff like this. And he was in bad shape. He died before he got to see this bill passed or something that he was trying to get passed. They had a
John Stewart, I think.
Yeah.
Was the one that was fighting for them.
Yeah, he was in their corner, and this was like one of his close friends.
And he finally got this done.
Right.
They finally got something done for him. But in my opinion, it's not enough.
And it wasn't enough.
I don't think it's enough.
But it was a small victory, and it was too bad because the one guy didn't survive long enough to see the small victory. That was like the biggest reason John Stewart got behind it was him and the rest of their stories. He started hearing that shit because a lot of those, people with good hearts that are celebrities, went to the scene and tried to help any way they could.
Yeah, I know this.
With money or donations or just their celebrity power of being down.
And the only thing that the fucking orange orangutan had to say about it was that they were dancing in the street.
It wasn't Trump Tower.
No. You know what he said after the towers fell? Well, Trump Towers is the tallest building in New York now.
Leave it to the narcissist to brag.
Exactly. That was one of the things he said. And then he also said that the Muslims were dancing in the streets over the death of the Americans and everything else. And he's like, he's a fucking retard.
Yeah. But it was a reason for them to fucking do like you said, a war on fucking terror.
It wasn't just a war on terror. They went in after the alleged terrorists, ISIS and everything. That's how all this crap came about. That's how all the Islamic
State that they have to do this crap.
Right,
and
but that's
kill
how the
all these
Islamic State came about, is because
to this day, the worst thing about the whole 9/11 is to this day that death toll was still fucking rising.
Yeah, I know, because people are still dying because
from the fucking cancer that they got,
something
or the
that
lung
happened.
disease that they got from the fucking suit that came down, and cloud of dust and all of that shit that got in their lungs. I mean,
Lisa says Steve Buscemi was actually Steve Buscemi
is a firefighter.
Used to be a firefighter, and he donned his gear. He donned firefighter gear and helped the fucking 9/11.
I remember that story.
He went in. He literally went in to the heart of the fucking matter, and he actually did what he knew what to do. Right,
I know. I remember that story.
Thank you for reminding me of that, Lisa.
That was a good one, Lisa. I forgot all about that. Steve, yeah, I forgot all about him.
Yeah.
Crazy Eyes.
Yeah.
As he was called
on
Mr. Deeds. Yeah. Good movie.
But yeah, I mean, he was one of them that one of the celebrities that actually did something. I mean, he went there and he put on.
Oh, you got his hands dirty.
Oh yeah, God, yes, he got his hands dirty.
Just say it that way. He got his hands dirty. He got right down in it.
He got his hands bloody too, because I guarantee you he was pulling bodies and stuff out as well.
And it's just pathetic that things have got to be like this. And
it's all the greed, dude. That's the whole thing. Everything that's wrong with this country right now is the greed. Is everybody's too fucking greedy, and everybody wants theirs. They don't want to fucking help with anything. They don't want anybody.
Well, it's not just that.
They don't want to help people. They just want theirs, and theirs. It doesn't matter how they get it.
Yeah, but
that's part of the greed.
As part of this conspiracy theory is that could have been prevented.
Yeah, it all could.
With our technology. Here's the thing, folks. With our technology, and our technology is more advanced than you're led on to believe. Okay, and trust me, I know this. Okay, we all know this. You just got to open your fucking eyes. I'm sorry to say that, but that's the truth.
No, it is the truth.
Because
we're all blinded
our
technology
by these idiots. Is a lot more advanced than what you see every day.
Hi, Sean.
All right, the technology that the government has will detect any threat long before it does any damage, because they'll be able to prevent it and stop it. So why wasn't this stopped? Even back then at 9/11, it could have been stopped. It could have been detected. It was detected. They already knew that these guys were over here learning how to fly and people are saying that.
And that's all they wanted to do, is learn how to fly them and not.
But they're still believing that it's like this over here when it wasn't this over here. No, it was this over here. This was a homeland terrorist attack. Don't believe me? Look up Jesse Ventura, a well-respected Minnesota governor, Navy SEAL. I don't care if the fucker was a wrestler or not, but you got to give that guy respect for serving this fucking country the way he did.
Yeah.
Okay? And this guy is a very intelligent man. That's all. Wrestling was all fucking acting, even back then. All right? Ventura will tell you that. The thing is, that man knows the truth. And that's why you don't see him running for office anymore anywhere else.
No, because he'd have to be as corrupt as the rest of them to even get ahead.
Well, not only did he actually say that.
I know this.
Okay. But he's also had to hide because he's gotten his life threatened because he's gotten too close to the truth, or he bought it out in that conspiracy theory show of his. Oh, and I love that show. I mean, he talked about HAARP.
Oh, HAARP?
Yeah.
You mean the control the weather?
Right.
The experiments for our government to try and control
But
weather.
it's a lot more than
That's
just
what HARP is. No, that's all. That's most of what it was supposed to be. Is trying to be able to control the weather, but it turned out to be a little bit different than what they actually thought.
I know. I watched all of his shows more than once.
They
Believe me, I was hooked.
Do you know why some of the storms happened the way they did?
Yeah, I know. All right.
Because they were trying
off.
to be controlled, and they lost control.
But like I said, this 9/11 thing has created, out of all of our disasters, we've had quite a few, the planes and so on and so forth, not just going into buildings, just planes crashing out of fucking blue for some reason. But right away, I mean, literally almost right away, it hit. The TV shows started coming out. The people on YouTube started coming out with all the conspiracy theories about 9/11.
Yeah.
Now
Our government was partly behind it.
And that proves to me that there are people out there that do have, they're opening their eyes and they're actually seeing more than what the government, because the government's always going to cover up fucking shit. And
the government covers up a lot.
And they don't want you to know a lot of shit.
And you're talking about our technology being more advanced than what we're led to believe. Well, I'm telling you right now, I will tell you this, and I'll tell everybody this. Right now, the United States, and it's not just the United States, Canada's involved in this, Mexico's involved in this, China is involved in this, Russia, Korea, England, Germany, all the major player countries are involved in this particular project right now, which is called Solar Warden.
Oh, you mean where they got a satellite up there or something?
We actually have a fleet, fleet of interstellar traveling ships. We can actually travel from our solar system to another one.
Conspiracy theory show.
No, this is all part of what you brought up with our technology. We have already traveled from our solar system to the nearest one to us, which is the dog star Alpha Centauri. Why do you think they know so much about it?
Familiar. Oh yeah, I know. What was that show?
Why do you think they know so much about Alpha Centauri? They know that it's a binary system. Binary system is two suns.
What's that show with the video game?
Oh, you're talking about
the one
the Last Starfighter or something like that?
The Last Starfighter. That's where he has to. It's something about Alpha.
That's not. I don't think that was Alpha Centauri.
I'll betcha. We're gonna watch
it's on Vudu.
You go watch
I got it on Vudu. You got it on Vudu. So
I'm willing to bet. I remember movies pretty fucking good. Think about how long I've been in the movie business.
Boom, boom, boom.
I mean,
but no,
I'm not an expert on.
But we have already traveled. Our society, our species has already traveled interstellarly.
All right, here's a question for you. Moon landing.
It happened.
Or was it in a studio?
No, it happened.
Okay. But there is a conspiracy theory that said that was in the studio.
Well, that conspiracy theory is all that is a conspiracy.
Well, you never know.
It happened. You know why it happened? This is...
let's not get into that now. That's another show. All right, here's
You're starting me on these. You're the one that's pointing me in these directions.
I'm bringing this up for a point, though.
But you're pushing me in these directions, and I have all this in my head, and when you push me in those directions, I want it to come out.
I'm bringing up a point because in the off season, because we're running, I'm bringing up a point because here in the off season, we're gonna do something different. Because one, I'm too fucking old, and so is this bastard over here.
I'm not old.
Yeah, whatever. You ain't.
I wasn't born. I wasn't born, so I don't age.
Whatever. Anyway, because of my condition, I am not going to tolerate the cold enough to
Yeah,
go out
we
and do some exploring
we've
like
tried
to
all
do.
kinds of conditioner. We can't fix him.
Oh, fuck off. You know, you have the leukemia and go through the shit I go through. You know
No,
how
I
cold
understand.
affects my body.
You know that, Joe. You know I
So,
understand.
Because it's getting so cold,
Okay.
we're going to start talking about, we're going to go live as much as we can. We're going to talk about conspiracy theories.
Well, I might actually a couple of times get out and about and do a film.
We might
If I
talk about
can.
some legends. We might get some video of the puppy if she ever cooperates again. Those are always fun ones. And who knows what else we might talk about? Maybe a little bit of Wisconsin history, you know. But we're going to just, you know, we're going to keep away from the politics as much as possible. Sorry about some of that today, but, you know.
It's his fault. He started it.
Yeah, no, it was part of the conspiracy theory because when you're talking 9/11, unfortunately,
it has to do with our government.
You have to talk government because that's
but if we go into moon landing, that's going to be part of the government too. Right. If we go into what I was talking about with Solar Warden, that's part of the government.
How about the JFK
as well.
Conspiracy?
JFK, you know, conspiracy, the assassination there. That's another one we can talk about. If you want to get into conspiracies, you know, we're going to have to rename ourselves Conspiracy Theory or something. But the whole thing is, I understand, but it can be part of the paranormal and the unexplained because some of it is unexplained.
Well, unexplained and unsolved.
Yeah.
You know, because, you know, the truth's out there and we're basically seeking the truth.
I hate when you get me started on things and then you won't let me fucking finish.
kind of like the X-Files, we're kind of trying to seek the truth. And it's out there. I mean, we may never find it, but a lot of this shit's unsolved. You got to admit, you know, 9/11. You know, there's a lot of conspiracy theories around it, and there's the main.
Why not?
One.
What about Donald Duck getting a blowjob?
The biggest.
I can find that on YouTube if you want, and I can download it.
The most common conspiracy theory is the one that it was a professional job, and it was done by our government, or arranged by our government at least. You know, them high mucky mucks like Cheney and that aren't going to get their hands.
So are you trying to talk conspiracy now with the JFK thing?
No, that's another show. That's a whole nother show, and that's one that I want to be over there. The
9/11,
we really got
9/11 thing.
We really got to have our shit together for that one because I want to have some.
Oh yeah,
we got to have some visuals for that one.
Kind of interesting. But the thing is with 9/11, okay, Giuliani was mayor of New York at the time. It was his last part of it.
Big fucking deal.
And
I'm not too impressed by that monkey.
No, that fucktard. I
don't know how you people in New York loved him so much. No. I still don't get that.
I don't get it either. But the thing is, though, with Trade Center 7, Building 7, it came down because of what was stored there. CIA documents, CIA
that's because
information.
They wanted to hide it. They didn't want it to get out.
In fact, I'm not even sure if it was just a storeroom or if it was an entire floor of servers that was dedicated to the stuff. But the building itself also housed all the fuel. That
might have explained some of that extra fuel too that was put in the planes.
It could be as well.
Make sure that some of that shit burned out.
But World Trade Center building number 7. Also, in the basement of that building, housed fuel
for generators
tanks for the generators for that entire complex. Now, if you get in and find all the documentation and stuff from companies that was making deliveries there, you might actually be able to find that within hours prior to that happening. The attacks, that you may find that they had those tanks.
It makes a loud boom.
Yeah, I heard. You may find that those tanks may have been filled.
Yeah,
giving more fuel at that point. But the
Well,
whole thing is, it's
with my background, that and you know this, I took police science for a while and MATC back in the early '80s, and then I did the security and private investigator work.
yeah.
And I watched a lot of these shows, and they do bore me sometimes because I tend to solve them before
Before they're done.
and they get to the possibilities. But there are some good ones that leave you hanging out there, and I can still solve some of them good ones. But it's like almost about the same time that they decide to give
Oh,
it
that was
away.
weird. That thing just flickered on your screen.
I've watched I don't know how many documentaries about 9/11, and the more I watch, and the more I listen, and the more I pay attention to their videos and their facts and the experts that are talking,
Just did it here.
the more I tend to believe this shit. And I'm shocked that more people don't open their eyes and actually believe some of this stuff, because there is undeniable evidence
Mm-hmm.
and proof that this was not caused by those two planes.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, those two planes were more of a distraction and an excuse to start the war on terror.
Well, it was more of a
All right.
distraction and an excuse also to bring those buildings down.
Because, right away when I saw that, and I mean, I remember I was sitting there and I'm like, I don't remember exactly where I was, but I was watching TV when it happened, and I'm like, wow.
Do you remember what pinpoint areas he was pointing to?
What, the explosive guy?
Mm-hmm.
No. But I know that video is all over YouTube.
I bet he fucking was pointing to some of them being placed in elevator shafts. Because those are weak spots in buildings.
But, like I said, you got these experts like that, and they're proven. But like I said, when I watched that for the first time, I'm thinking to myself, these are like skyscraper buildings. Our technology was built to make them strong. A plane isn't going to take and level them motherfuckers to the ground and make them come straight down. I knew something.
These buildings,
in the back of my mind, I'm thinking right away something
built.
was fucking fishy.
Both of those buildings were built to withstand hurricane
force winds. Right.
And I'm pretty damn sure a single plane crashing into the upper floors of those buildings is, even though it was burning like crazy, I'm pretty damn sure they're not going to.
No, they're not going to collapse
those
straight down like
down.
that. They came like straight fucking down.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't topple over sideways or anything. That's what now, if the plane brought them down, that's how I would expect, because they topple over like a fucking tree, because you've got the axe coming in going this way, so it's going to.
Well, the planes hit in the upper floors.
Right.
They didn't hit in the base floors.
But those buildings, like you said, hurricane forced winds.
Mm-hmm.
So that means they got some extra heavy duty steel up there supporting them buildings. So the weight of that plane isn't going to be a whole lot. They could probably have landed a helicopter on the fucking roof. They probably had helipads on those roofs.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean,
no,
I'm
they
guessing.
did.
I'm guessing. I'm just saying.
But the whole thing, the helicopters don't weigh as much as those
plane,
planes do.
But still, a plane alone should not bring that building down where they hit, not where they hit.
Even if they would have hit lower, I don't think it would have done
it. And experts have even said that. Construction experts, that people knew how that building was constructed and what materials were used to construct that building.
Yeah.
They even turned around and said the only way to bring it down like that was a professional demolition.
Yep, it's to demolition it. It's to blow the supports.
Right.
And if you watch videos of those buildings when they were coming down, you can see two to 4 floors below.
Yeah, you can see the puffs.
You can see the puffs coming out from the explosions.
Right.
From the charges being detonated.
Exactly.
And anybody that fucking watches that and thinks anything other, they're fucking stupid. They're not paying attention to the true facts.
That's not an implosion from the weight or something coming down.
Not.
That's an explosion. coming from the inside going out.
Exactly. But the whole thing is, it's not, you're even with the weight coming down like that,
It would have been
it's not
going to
do that.
Well, no, it would have been a lot
No,
bigger and a
but
lot
it's
more
not gonna-
devastating.
But it's not going to do that because the steel in those in there is strong enough. It's not
Right.
going to let it do
right.
that.
It's not going to. It basically, they said it was physically impossible for it to do that. That's why they said that it had to have been a professional demo job, because the steel and stuff that was made was like, like you said, those buildings were able to withstand
Hurricane force winds.
They thought ahead for safety of those buildings, and it's just, it's pathetic.
Yeah, they go straight down, just like trade centers did.
And people sit there, and the worst thing is people sat there and they got the video of the planes actually coming in.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, that's the other thing, it should have never happened, because, like I said, it could have been prevented.
Yeah, it all could have been prevented.
But it was a setup.
Yeah.
It was all planned out. God knows how far in advance. But it was all planned out.
It's a long game.
It was all planned out.
It's a long game.
And there was a lot of chess players.
Mm-hmm. A lot of chess pieces that were
A lot of big
sacrificed.
chess players, yeah.
A lot of chess pieces that were sacrificed, yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there's always an scapegoat in these conspiracy theories, too. And that guy's usually the innocent person. They probably didn't have a fucking clue.
Yeah.
We're going to pick the dumbest motherfucker out there and make him our scapegoat. That's how it works. That's how the mafia did it.
Mm-hmm. I know.
Guy doesn't have a clue. Easy to fucking threaten. He ain't going to say a fucking word to nobody. What are you laughing at?
I'm laughing at you. I always laugh at you.
Donald Duck.
Yeah, she said don't talk about Donald Duck
Oh, we want to hear Donald Duck give a blowjob?
getting
That's
a blowjob.
Getting a
Yeah.
blowjob? That's a good one.
Yeah, I told her I can find
I
it
got
on
that on a
YouTube.
ringtone. But my phone's off.
I can find it on YouTube.
Hey,
Probably download it.
hey Google, can you play Donald Duck Gets a Blowjob?
I looked for Donald Duck Gets a Blowjob, but it either isn't available or can't be played right now.
So
All right.
fucking help you are, Google.
Wow.
I'm sorry, I just had to do that. That was funny.
So anyway, yeah.
Yeah, like Lisa said, when they demolish casinos, they go
Mhm.
straight down, and
They
that's
don't fall at angles.
Yeah,
They
and
don't-
if you've ever watched those,
they collapse in on
They
themselves.
used to remember when they used to televise when they go up
Yes.
and demolish a casino
Yes.
in Vegas,
Yes.
and you'd always watch that sucker just go. When
It wouldn't go. It wouldn't go. Flu. It would go.
Well, yeah,
It bring it into the center.
well, whatever.
because
but you
When
always
they
had that
when they
great big
okay when the
bomb
charges
smoke,
when they
you know.
when they put the charges up and they'd set them up to explode, the center ones would pop first, so that way the weight would shift, and then they would pop the outer ones, and then
Right.
those then
they
it
showed
would
this
all
on
come
TV
in just
in
like this
detail.
on itself,
They had a show where they showed it all.
and that
on
was the purpose of doing it.
They had a show on TV where they showed that in detail, where they actually
Mm-hmm.
showed them setting up the explosions.
You know, I'm
Blocking
I'm
off
kind
the
of
street.
surprised that I didn't become a demolition expert because of the fact that I like blowing things up.
Oh, you did that? Did you do that kind of shit too? Like
Yeah,
make
when I was a
models
kid.
and stuff like that.
Yep.
You know, firecrackers
Yep.
and stuff up to it in them 80s and bottle
Well,
rockets. and-
I did a simulation of the space shuttle exploding. You remember back in '89 when the space shuttle, I think it was the Columbia, when it blew up on takeoff.
yeah.
I had an actual model rocket of the space shuttle.
Remember that?
I filled it full of gunpowder and set
Oh,
it up with a
Jesus
fuse
Christ.
down the side of it,
Oh no!
and
It melted.
had the
Complete
fuse
meltdown, right?
had the fuse come down to when the
Of the rocket.
engine would ignite. It would ignite the fuse. It got up to about 400 feet, and it goes boom. It exploded.
Too much gunpowder.
No, I did it purposely.
Oh, anyway. Yeah, you remember that evil, that evil Knievel bike that you did this? You had that base where you spun it and it had the
one.
doll. It had the doll that
Had
sat
one.
on the bike. Right. So you know what I'm talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
I hooked a couple bottle rockets to the back of that once and lit them off and kind of burnt up the uniform and melted. I thought it was fun.
I have one. I actually have one.
We used to do that to models, like we'd build the old plastic models, ones that you have to glue together, but the wheels would still work and shit like that.
Yeah, need tape bottle rockets to it.
Bottle rockets or M80s just to see it explode, or you do that with a couple of Hot Wheels, put an M80 on it to see if it blows apart.
My sister, my dad was a mail carrier, so he'd get these big fucking long red rubber bands like this.
Oh yeah, I know what those are.
I stretched about 20 of them together.
About so thick.
Yeah, I put about 20 of them together, and I stretched them from the back room of the house all the way through to the front area.
Oh God, you were a mean little fuck.
And then I took my sister's Barbie dolls and wrapped the thing around its head and let it go. Let it fly through the house.
I bet you busted that all this shit. Legs over here, arms over there.
A couple of them.
Head was probably
tore a couple
in the door.
of them up. That was mean.
You were like
Of course, I was the youngest of the seven.
You were like that little kid on Toy Story where even the dog was afraid of you, huh?
Yep. Sid.
Joy, run and hide.
I was a Sid. What are you yelling at Joy for? She's outside.
No, she's inside.
Is she?
Back inside. Oh, yeah.
Are you in here, Joy?
Joy, come here. Joy. Timber, Joy, come here. Come here, Joy. Mama's not here. Come here. Joy. Something out the window's got her attention. Come here. No, she's got to stretch.
Always. I was always
got to
naughty.
stretch it out. Hi, Joy.
Hey, kiddo. Hi. Come here.
There's your guest. There's your guest host. You can see the top of her head for a second.
Come here. Hi.
So,
How you doing?
Definite conspiracy. But yeah,
How you
let's
doing?
see. What else were we going to talk about? Let's see. When we do this, since we're off season, you said you might go out and try to film things.
Well, since I can handle the cold, I might actually go and try. Well, I wouldn't be solo. Lisa would probably be with me. She bumbles up.
Maybe it'll give us some time to get in contact with some people, and we can have some better stuff next year.
Or your baby girl.
Build up some chance to get some better equipment.
Yeah, well, I need a.
But in the meantime, we're gonna just do whatever.
I need to get the better light.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Unless you let me use yours.
The adapter. But we're gonna do stuff that's mostly indoors when we go live now, like the conspiracy theories, legends, myths, things like that. And who knows what else we might throw in there.
I still hate when you bring up subjects for conspiracy and they tell you gotta wait
like
for
I said, you gotta
show.
make it another show unless you want to cut this, take a break, and do another one.
No,
quick.
No, that's all right.
Because we can talk about one next week. But anyway, in the meantime, look us up. You can see all our past travels and exploits. www.utterlyinsane.com. Oh no, utterlyinsaneproductions.com. Excuse me. utterlyinsaneproductions.com. You'll find the links to our Facebook page, our links to YouTube, and please like and share. And we're out of here, I guess, huh?
Yeah, that was fun to do that. So I'll talk to you guys later.
I don't have the outro up, so
why not?
I closed that out back over here by mistake.
What'd you do that for?
Because I'm not used to doing this side.
I can sit here and talk until you get the outro up.
Okay, you sit there and talk.
If you want to do that.
Okay.
I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I'm talking about the fact that you're ugly and
Talk about how you once used to live at the Vilas Zoo in that cage at the beginning that the UW funded.
that's how we met.
The rhesus monkey cage.
But that's how we met. You were in an adjacent cage.
Just wait, I take my grandkids there. I'm gonna say, yep, Uncle Mark was found here.
Yep,
This is
right
where I
next to
met
your
him.
cage.
No, all right, I got it. I got it. You ready?
Well, yeah, go ahead.
Say goodbye.
Goodbye. And this has been Utterly Insane Productions with Mark and Joe. We do the paranormal and the unexplained. And I thank you for listening. And
Please like and share, and go to www.utterlyinsaneproductions.com for all your links.
You got
to our shows.
and you guys have fun. Take care and keep an eye on the sky.